Hello and welcome to your GMan Season 16 Division 5A Matches of the Week for Week 2. And interesting week it was this week. We had further domination by the excellent top of the table FC Amstein Pro Elf team. I only expect them to be winning more. And we had a couple of good wins from the Dark Elf and the Chaos team, with only a draw between the Orcs and the Amazon team that was slightly less exciting there. So without further ado, let's get into our first match then, which is the Red Fang Elite Warriors, Hindy's Orc team versus the Malice in Zonderland, Stupid Puppy's Amazon team. Stupid Puppy proved my prediction wrong again with a second draw, but we'll see how close it was this week. Have a look at the stats. The armor breaks first. Yeah, it was a bashy match on both sides. The Amazons killed a thankfully lone Orc lineman and gave an Orc blitzer a missing next game. The Amazons took 2 badly hurts and 2 knockouts for their troubles though. But the Orcs only managed to break armor 10 times from 75 blocks, while the Amazons got 4 breaks from 23 blocks. So Hindy must have been cursing his armor dice, especially since they're only armor 7. Similar possession numbers. Slightly more for the Amazons, but both got 80% occupation in each other's halves. So I'm expecting a lot of back and forth in the replay. And fairly even SPP gains for both teams as well. So, after watching the recap, the Orcs chose to kick and got a blitz. And they use it to base up the front line of Amazon players though. But they don't leave anything back to play safety. I'm not entirely sure how important that is, with only Amazons being movement 6, but still, I would have preferred, especially with Orcs being so slow and hard to reposition if they get caught out, I would have preferred a few players, maybe at least one blitzer left backwards, to play safety to readjust where needed. It does work well for them though, because the Amazons barely make a move beyond picking up the ball and making the line of scrimmage blocks. A turnover from a failed dodge lets the Orcs break through and mark up the ball carrier. The Amazons make a move towards one flank but are countered by encircling Orcs as they started at the back of their own half. They try to escape by running the ball carrier back to the end zone, but a lot of the rest of the team remains based up with only a thin screen of Amazon players to protect the ball carrier. Thankfully for Stupid Puppy though, Hindy seems more intent on bashing the based up players than threatening the screen and ball carrier on turn 3. He does manage to badly hurt a blitzer, but perhaps knowing that they're going to need all the block they can get to stand a chance, Stupid Puppy uses his apothecary to save it to no casualty. Hindy then turns himself over by killing his own lone lineman with a dub skull block on another blitzer. He doesn't waste a reroll on that block though, as most of his players have acted by then. Stupid Puppy takes advantage of the bash focus of last turn by running his ball carrier down the other flank to the middle of the Amazon half, with the screen pivoting round to protect it there too. All the blitzers are on the floor, all the Orc blitzers are on the floor and well out of position anyway. The Orcs can only base up the screen and the Amazons use a pass to get the ball further out of reach and into the Orc half. But the screen is falling behind and the Orcs could get a sack if they were willing to attempt to dodge to get to the ball carrier, which they do on turn 5. 2 go for it gets them a blitzer on the ball carrier to mark it, and they attempt to blitz with their base thrower. They make the dodge, but snake the go for it to get into base contact with the target. A blitz to clear the mark and a go for it puts the Amazon ball carrier out of harm's reach on turn 6. But an ill-advised, in my opinion, attempt to stall out, followed by a failed dodge with Orcs nearby, gets the ball carrier marked up on turn 7. Thankfully they don't fail the dodge that matters though, and they get the touchdown on turn 8 to go 1-0 up leading into this half-time. The second half sees 10 Orcs facing 11 Amazons, so the Amazons are outbash the Orcs at this point, but not by very much. The Orc thrower gets the ball and immediately runs up to join his teammates in a 3-turn brawl on the line of scrimmage. In doing so though, Hindy leaves it next to a downed Amazon player, which backfires on turn 11 when the Amazons get a 1 dice block POW sack on the thrower with a line woman. Unfortunately they can't consolidate on that though, failing a go for it with the blitzer when trying to retrieve the scattered ball, who badly hurts herself, and the Orcs easily get the ball back. The Amazons give a casualty to another Orc, but the Orcs follow up on turn 13 with a Kaz and KO of their own, clearing a path for the ball carrier to advance behind an Orc wall. On turn 15, the Orcs bash a hole in the Amazon defence, and they run the ball carrier through with a slight screen. The Amazons respond with a 1-die block blitz attempt, but they only manage to push with a reroll, and the Orcs equalised in the final turn after dodging out with a ball-carrying blitzer who was double marked. It was a close, scrappy match, and the Orcs had to do 2 important dodges to be able to equalise. So I'm not entirely sure about this one. A few mistakes, or a few questionable plays, I think, on both sides. But the Amazons do get a vanity pass in their own last turn at the end. Yeah, 2 slow teams. I think once the Amazons start getting a few more guard around, they're going to be able to play bash like Amazons are supposed to. But Hindi needs to try and stop letting himself get led down the garden path, really, and overcommitting to one side. Orcs are slow and very easily punished if mispositioned, especially when he's facing the elf teams later on in the season. Okay, let's have a look at our next game. This is Lijan's Chaos Bulls Chaos Dwarf team versus Rightful's Best Luck is Bad Luck, the Dark Elves. Another incorrect prediction from me. Hopefully some fun elf bullshit to watch, though. If we have a look at the stats, we go from a bashy match to one with 7 armor breaks total and no injuries. Only 3 knocked out Chaos Dwarf players. Not at all good for the Chaos Dwarves. The only skill points they got beyond the MVP was a single pass on a Hobgoblin. That Hobgoblin did get a level though, so it's not total loss. The Dark Elves had 62% ball possession, so I think a convincing win for them here. Let's have a look at the recap. So, the Chaos Dwarves choose to kick and set up in a formation with a vulnerable hole in the middle. A single Hobgoblin on the line of scrimmage, stopping access to the Chaos Dwarf midfield, possibly inviting the Dark Elves to come in and be wrapped by the players defending the flanks. But the Dark Elves don't take the bait, bashing away the line of scrimmage players and keeping the ball well back. It's not until turn 4 that the Chaos Dwarves take a step into the elf half, and even then it's only a single square. The Elves make a break for it on turn 5 and cage up on the sideline halfway down the Chaos Dwarf half on turn 6. The Dwarves try to defend, but are a bit out of position, and the ball-carrying elf runner blitzes 3 of its marking players to score on turn 7, 1-0 to the Dark Elves. The Chaos Dwarves end the half with a vanity pass, levelling up that Hobgoblin we mentioned earlier, and we go into half-time with the Elves in the lead and full teams on either side. The Chaos Dwarves start the second half by picking up the ball with the Bull Centaur without a reroll. Excellent. And they park it behind the line of scrimmage. The Elves get a player to mark it, but fail to dodge trying to get a second marker, and the Chaos Dwarves are able to cage up around the ball carrier on turn 10. With pretty much the entire team, the whole team surrounds the ball carrier, and I don't think that that's the way you're supposed to do it. You need wings, you need support, you need sort of screens on the side so that you have the opportunity to reposition if necessary. A tight cage in the middle of the pitch so early on is just asking yourself to be wrapped up and not be able to move anywhere, especially when they don't have guard or mighty blow really. So yeah, with the cage formed by the entire team, they slowly start marching through the Elves. An elf lineman left on the floor next to Bull Carrying Bull in turn 12 tries the uphill 2-die block, but only gets a push from a push both down roll. On turn 13, after using the reroll on an earlier Hobgoblin block, the Bull Carrier fails to block himself against one of the 2 Dark Elves basing it, rolling 2 both downs. The ball scatters back behind the nearby Dark Elf line, and the adjacent runner takes it back to the line of scrimmage with 5 other elves around him for support on turn 14. They run it leisurely down the pitch for the turn 16 touchdown and a 2-0 win, while the entire Chaos Dwarf team remains in the rough cage formation they had in the Dark Elf half, blocking the few elves that are left, marking them. The Chaos Dwarves collapse their formation far too early in the second half, allowing them to be completely wrapped by the Dark Elves, and losing all opportunities to attempt to reposition, I think. Rightful had a great game this week after their inevitable loss to the Pro Elves last week. 2-0 to those Dark Elves. So next we have Murphy's Chem Killers Chem team versus Saddam's Trailer Park Boys Chaos team. 2-0 win to the Chaos here. My first correct prediction of the week. Convincing looking win for the Chaos and another disappointing loss for Murphy here. Have a look at the stats. Oh boy. The Khemri team had the ball for 37% of the game but didn't get it out of their own half, and the Chaos team inflicted 7 casualties and 3 knockouts. So this is going to be a sad one to watch, I think. That's the skill points. Yeah, 7 skill points for the Khemri team versus 25 for the Chaos team. Murphy induced hack and slash for a chainsaw and brought 2 bribes for it. Now, I'm not a fan of bribes. Well, maybe if you've got a chainsaw, but hack and slash is a very vulnerable chainsaw. He's got sidestep, but he's still only armor 7, and he's expensive. I think he's 100k. This team does not have a dirty player yet, so if you lose the saw early on, you're not getting a lot of use out of those bribes. I mean, you are going to foul anyway. Well, you should be fouling anyway if you get the opportunity. You should be making the opportunity, but especially with no dirty player. I would have probably induced a skeleton with dirty player here instead, and then had a look at what the other opportunities were. Now, let's have a look at how the recap went. Yeah, Murphy chooses to receive when it's snowing. I can't see either team trying to pass, but the go for it roll modifier might hurt these slower teams' mobility. And unfortunately for Murphy, compounding on that, the Chaos get a blitz too. But they don't really do anything with it. Failing a blitz on the chainsaw has been left on the line of scrimmage, but not moving forward much. The Khemri pick up the ball thanks to sure hands and move 2 skeletons back to support it, but then fail a 1-die block blitz with a blitz ra on a Chaos warrior, re-rolling a skull into a skull. Probably a waste of a reroll there, since it was the last action of the turn, but he must be going for the block. Turn 2 sees the Chaos move up to base on the line of scrimmage more, while the Khemri move the ball up to the middle behind the line of scrimmage, and again burn a reroll on a 1-die block, skull into push, immediately failing another block afterwards with a Tomb Guardian, blocking the Minotaur into both down. Feeling left out, the Chaos fail a block on their second action for their turn 2. The lack of block hurting them, but the Khemri don't seem best positioned to take advantage of it, still facing a wall of upright Chaos players. The chainsaw is knocked out on turn 3, having been left up front and blitzed every turn. Murphy throwing his inducement money down the toilet, really. Otherwise, they cage up tightly against the line of scrimmage, and to be honest, seem to be waiting to lose the ball. No movement opportunities. No movement opportunities, and they would have to really outbash the Warriors and Minotaur basing the Tomb Guardians, which I feel is unlikely, especially considering the Chaos team have Claw and Mighty Blow, and the Khemri don't really have a lot of skills, if any. I understand that the Khemri are best played as a control team, with the Guardians acting as anchor points, while the Skeletons screen the valuable positionals, and a tight cage I feel is just asking for trouble. They managed to push the cage forward a bit, but the Chaos keep chipping away, getting the Minotaur into base contact with the Bull Carrier after killing a Tomb Guardian. It was regenerated on the turn 4 blitz. The Bull Carrier is left undefended after the Khemri roll quad skulls trying to uphill 2-die block that Minotaur, and the Chaos injure the Bull Carrier, regenerated it again, and surround the ball on their turn 5, injuring 2 other players in the process, as well as leaving 5 Khemri players on the pitch. The Chaos failed to pick up the ball on turn 6, but managed it on turn 7, while also killing another Tomb Guardian, again regenerated, with their Claw, Mighty Blow, Beastman, before scoring on turn 8, with 4 Khemri players left on the pitch, not all standing. Murphy's lucky to have both knockouts wake up, and along with his lucky regeneration rolls in the first half, mean he's only 1 player down for the second half, but the weather changes back to nice for the Chaos' turn to attack. An attack they do. That Claw, Mighty Blow, Beastman knocks out another Tomb Guardian on turn 9. The Khemri KO a warrior with a blitz from the chainsaw on their own turn, but that leaves the chainsaw exposed, and the Chaos injure it with their turn 10 blitz, and it fails regeneration. Murphy seems to play a lot better on defense, screening well through turn 13, when they're halfway through their own half, but with only 7 Khemri players left, they're stretched too thin and get stuck based on one side of the pitch while the Chaos Ball Carrier runs off to the other side. nearing the end zone on turn 14. A desperation play from Murphy pays off on their turn 14 with a 4+ dodge from the thrower, 2 go for it's, 1 re-rolled, and a 1 die block power blitz sacking the ball carrier, and a 5+ catching the ball on the scatter. That triumph short-lived though, unfortunately, as the Chaos easily get the return sack and retrieval, leading to the turn 16 touchdown and a 2-0 win over the Khemri. Sad one for Murphy. Seeing his screening play in defence, he might be a bit better choosing to kick rather than receive, and maybe look to try a looser formation when attacking. Very good game for Saddam, and that SPP is going to be great for their team's development. So last up we have CB Almansa C, the human team coached by Glandete, and we have FC Amenstein, the magnificent Pro Elf team coached by Homosep, who romped to another 2-1 win, an inevitable victory, and they're going to be top of the table, I'm sure, all the way to the end. Another entry in the Homosep Hall of Fame here. See the humans there joining the Dark Elves from week 1. So, another correct prediction for me, so another 50-50 week in predictions this week. Let's see if I can do a bit better next week. So let's have a look at the stats. Equal ball possession stats, but interestingly, 0% own half possession for FC Amenstein. So I'm expecting some quick scoring from them, I think. 17 Elf SPP versus 8 for the humans. 1 touchdown to go with the MVP. No inducements this game. The humans choose to receive, and the elves kick the ball right onto the line of scrimmage on one of the flanks. The humans retrieve the ball and cage it up on the line of scrimmage, with a screen in front of the cage, leaving them movement options. The ogre on one side fails his bonehead roll though, allowing elves through to base up the ball carrier. The ogre redeems himself on turn 2, knocking out one of those elves, a blitzer even, and freeing the ball carrier up to reform a safer cage. The elves break the cage corner again on their turn 2 and get another 2 players basing the ball carrier. The humans are left spending their turn pushing those markers off the ball, unable to clear the markers off the cage corners, and leaving the ball vulnerable for the elf turn 3, and the ogre fails his bonehead again. Homosep sees this opening, clears that cage corner to open up the 1 die blitz, but re-rolls a push into a skull, and that's the end of that. Glandete plays his next turn more conservatively than I would, moving sideways a bit and going for a bit of bashing rather than trying to push a cage deeper into the elf half. His positioning does leave the ball carrier open to a 1 die blitz again though. Unfortunately for Homosep, the elves roll a stumble for that blitz, and the ball carrying blitzer has dodge, so it just gets pushed 1 square closer to scoring. This time Glandete goes for the cage push, with the ball carrier moving forward into scoring range. Homosep's able to push a corner and get 2 elves on the ball carrier again. It's not enough though, and after a turn 7 scuffle and 1 turn with the ball against the pitch edge with a 2-man cage, the humans are able to push through for the turn 8 touchdown to go 1-0 up. Homosep sets up for the 1-turn touchdown attempt, and let's have a look how it went. So the thrower gets the ball and passes it to the nose of steel catcher on the line of scrimmage. And the pass is successful. We have the blitz. And now he has to account for the fact that they got that POW there rather than the push. So reposition some elves further round to push up rather than horizontally like you would have with that blitzer. Gets another POW. Into an injury. That's actually minus agility on that blitzer there. Bit more movement round. And another POW. So manages to get the pushes even with knocking every one of the opposing line of scrimmage players down. Excellent to see. And now 2 go for it's and 2 dodges. And he makes them both excellent, equalising just before the second half there. So not only did he get the equaliser, he injured a human player in the process. Excellent work. Both teams set up with 10 players for the second half, and it's the elf turn to attack. They set up asymmetrically to drive down one side, but the humans kicked to the line of scrimmage on the other side and managed to roll a blitz on the kickoff. They get a player on the ball landing spot, screened and almost completely caged, and manage the catch on a 4+. Looking a bit dire for the elf team there, but they managed to blitz a cage corner and again get 3 elves, including a blitzer, on the ball carrier with good surrounding players for support. Dlandete clears one of the markers with a blitz, but then snakes the ball carrier's dodge out, which seals the nail. Is the final nail in the coffin, I think. Homerset picks at the ball with the thrower, using a reroll, and then goes for an ever so slightly risky player, passing over the human's head to the catcher that's just on the other side of the line of scrimmage on the human half, rather than using a catcher that's nearby the ball, which would have been able to run away a bit but still been in human range. The catcher catches it. Thankfully, it's because of the throw is accurate. It's a 2+ throw and a 2+ catch, and the catcher runs away to 2 spaces short of the end zone, with 3 other elves acting as a screen on turn 10. The remaining 6 turns of the half is a well executed stall from Homerset. Both teams entirely relocating to the human end zone, and with a bit of back and forth, a bit of manoeuvring and outmanoeuvring from both teams, but Homerset manages to pull it off and gets the turn 16 touchdown. And with the humans not attempting the one-turn touchdown of their own, that's a 2-1 win for the Union team. Good fundamentals on display from Homerset throughout. His constant cage harassment and ball carrier covering, especially with sidestep blitzers, is only going to get better for him as his team develops his blitzers and his catches. So, after that, we will have a look at the standings for the week. So here we are. The excellent FC Hammerstein on top with 6 points, 2 wins, and a healthy touchdown difference of 3 there. Closely followed by the Trailer Park Boys with 4 points and a 2-turn touchdown difference. Then we have the 3-point teams. We have Best Luck is Bad Luck. We have CB Almanza C. We have the KSO Bulls. All with 1 win and 1 loss. The KSO Bulls slightly further down with a -1 touchdown difference compared to 0 for the other 2. Then we have Malice in Zonderland with 2 points, 2 draws for them. Let's try and get a win next week. Red Fang Elite Warriors with 1 win and 1 draw with a -1 touchdown difference. And then trailing the pack we have the Chem Killers, who are yet to win a game with a -3 touchdown difference. Have a look at the division statistics so far. So, top of the impact players is Best Luck is Bad Luck. We have a runner that scored 2 touchdowns and 4 successful blocks. And then we have the two Pro Elf catchers with 2 touchdowns each as well, with a different amount of blocking. Next, top scorer, we have 4 players on 2 touchdowns. We have the 2 Pro Elf catchers, we have the Dark Elf runner, and we have Corey, who is the plus AG Beastman for the Trailer Park Boys, who I think is going to be scoring pretty much all of their touchdowns. Top blocker is a Pro Elf with 23 blocks. Excellent. Pro Elf blitzer there. Closely followed by a couple of Orcs. Well, a load of Orc and Chaos players, but yep. Top blocker for the Pro Elves, which is excellent to see. We've got 4 kills so far. 1 for the humans, 1 for the Amazons, 1 for the Orcs, and 1 for the Chaos. Most violent comes definitely for the Chaos team. The Minotaur has had 4 casualties, and we have Jacob, who is the Claw Mighty Blow Bleastman for the Trailer Park Boys, has 4 casualties as well. Still only 1 surf for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players. And that's this week's stats. So, now let's have a look at the teams as they stand after week 2. So FC Hammerstein, let's have a look. Jagielka here, rookie catcher, picks up dodge from the touchdown this week, and no injuries, so they're looking great for next week. Now the Trailer Park Boys, Saddam's team. Yeah, another one to look out for, I think. We have Tyrone, the Beastman, with plus edgy. He gets blocked from a touchdown, and Corey, the jump up Beastman, down here. I accidentally thought this guy was the plus edgy one in the stats before. Sorry about that. I got that mixed up. He is actually the jump up Beastman who is missing next game, unfortunately. Oh no, he's not just missing next game. He's niggle now. So he's not picked a skill yet. He got a skill from a touchdown and a casualty. No other injuries though. Looks like we want to try and get Bubbles, and in fact all of these Beastmen are quite close to leveling, so I maybe want to get a touchdown on one of them. Dare you try for the Vanity Pass? Possibly not with only 2 team rerolls. In fact, with 140k in the bank, I would probably be looking to buy another reroll at this point. You've got a full team next turn. Yeah, I would definitely spend some money on a reroll for this team. Yep. He's close to leveling as well. So, and in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 players are close to leveling. So this team is going to get very scary very fast, I think. Rifles, Dark Elves. Best luck is bad luck. How have they done this week? So go for it into death. Picked up guard. Excellent. Got that from a completion. And the runner AV7 is plenty right. Got dodge from a touchdown and completion. No injuries for them this week. They've still got the minus armor Surf Lineman, but he's probably worth keeping around with Wrestle. I think Wrestle's going to negate the armor loss, so it's just like having a rookie blitzer down here. I think rookie lineman down there. Managed to get a touchdown on this Witch Elf, so that's one. Hopefully that'll skill up next game because that really needs a skill up. I like Wrestle on Witch Elves, so I'll probably take Wrestle on the first one there. Yep, no injuries for these guys this week. So let's see who's next. We've got Hindy's Red Fang Elite Warriors. A couple of skill ups from these guys. Bug-Ear here, picked up guard from a touchdown on the MVP. And Short Tilt is missing next game. But he has skilled up from a casualty, but hasn't taken his skill yet. I imagine he's going to wait to see who he's facing when he's back. No other injuries. Yeah, these Black Orcs are very close to leveling. Hopefully Gnome Tongue gets it next time. And so is Rock Soup as well. Rock Soup is probably next touchdown candidate. And he really needs some skill points on this troll. Just get it guard so it can sit there and do nothing. And just be guard fodder. Yeah. Obviously if it gets blocked, that's great, but yeah. The KSO Bulls, Legends Chaos Dwarves. This rookie blocker here gets Mighty Blow from the MVP. And down here we get a Hobgoblin that picks another Hobgoblin. Got Sharpfinger here. They've got a pass and got block as well. Not sure I agree with that. And this team could really do the dirty player, I think. Yeah. But block first on every single player. I don't know. Seems a bit odd. Oh yeah, they already have block. No injuries to these guys this week. The guy that has movement down got that one earlier. Murphy's Chem Killers. Yeah, we've got Luxosh Patada down here is missing the next game, but the Blitzer up here managed to get tackle from the MVP. Excellent news. Going to be a helpful skill there. And importantly, their Mighty Blow Tomb Guardian is back for next match. The humans then, what happened to these guys? Oh, no skill ups of these guys unfortunately this week. Daniel Landete got replaced. He got minus agility from that injury during the one-turn attempt, and he's been replaced with Daniel Landete 2. Malison's on the line finally. A couple of skillets with these guys. No injuries this week. We've got Dodo, who picked up sidestep from the touchdown, and Caterpillar, rookie blitzer here, gets tackle from the MVP. So good choices, good development. No guard though. Actually, yeah. These blitzers need guard as soon as possible. We need guard on this team. Guard, then mighty blow are what make Amazon team scary. When you've got dodge and 4 guards and you can't get them to go anywhere. Yeah. So let's have a look at some predictions. What's the schedule next week? So first up, we've got Malison's on the land versus FC Amazon. Sorry, it's Pro Elf win. No chance. Easy win for the Pro Elves. Sorry, Amazons. Next, CBL Manchester C versus the Trailer Park Boys. The Chaos team are showing some dominance early on. They are bashy, and I think the humans are going to get out bashed. I'd be pleasantly surprised if they didn't, and they managed to outmaneuver the Chaos team, but they are going to have to play like the Elf team. They're going to have to be dodgy, they're going to have to get out there, they're going to have to avoid the Chaos team, otherwise they're just going to get chewed up and spat out, I think. Murphy's Chem Killers versus Best Luck is Bad Luck, but right fool. Sorry Murphy, I think it's going to be an easy win for the Dark Elves. Those Khemri really need some development to be contenders. Hopefully they won't end up at the bottom of the table at the end. I'd like to see the underdog pull it out, but I think it might be likely at this point. KSO Bulls versus the Red Fang Elite Warriors. I'm going to go specific for this one. I think I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw, and I think it might be a bit of a boring one, unfortunately. 2 walls of bash hitting each other and not moving much doesn't really entertain me, but hopefully I'm proved wrong. Hopefully we'll see some orc passes maybe. Hopefully we might see some Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaurs doing some ball carrying that isn't just hiding in a cage. That'd be nice. A nice screen of Chaos Dwarf players and a Bull Centaur running off behind them. I'd love to see that. So, yep. That was your Week 2 recap. Like I said last week, if anybody has any interesting plays or interesting games or something they want to show off or something that was catastrophic perhaps, just let me know over Discord, send me a private message and I'll try and get it in the next week's recap for you. So signing off, have good games.